A very good morning to all my dear students. Hope you have some lovely time with your family in this lockdown. Today we start from where we ended, that is subject civics chapter 3 constitutional design. We noted in the previous chapter that in a democracy the rulers are not free to do what they like. Rulers, we had a great debate on it, that rulers are the people who are being elected respectfully by the people in a free and fair manner. And shall we call them rulers, or we should uh, change ourselves to call them as our representatives or our leaders? But I am sticking to the word ruler because it is in the book. There are certain basic rules that the citizens and the government have to follow. All such rules together are called constitution. As the supreme law of the country, the constitution determines the rights of citizens, the powers of the government, and how the government should function. I repeat, the constitution determines the rights of citizens, the powers of the government, and how the government should function. The rights, all the fundamental and the basic and human rights, the powers of the government, what are the limitations of the government, and how the government should function in a peaceful manner. In this chapter, we ask some basic questions about the constitutional design of a democracy. Why do we need a constitution? How are the constitutions of the different countries drawn up? Who designs them and in what way? What are the values that shape the constitutions in democratic states? And once a constitution is accepted, can we make changes later as required by the changing condition? So enough we have the overview of the chapter constitutional design. Let's start with a small definition which is a subject in itself of the word constitution. So basically from class 6 we have been learning this, that constitution is a set of written rules, and once you have the written rules, these rules are to be obeyed by all of the countrymen. All citizens have to be follow unanimously. So the first and the foremost feature of the constitution underlies that it should be accepted by all. The second thing is the winning party cannot change or modify these rules based on their perception and according to their comfort zones. So, what would happen if once the constitution is being laid out and one political party wants to amend the laws as per their wills and fancy? No, you cannot modify for your own profit or benefit. Ultimately, it has to be when it is going to be beneficial for all, and or it is serving the purpose to a larger section of population. Then only rules are being subject to change, and then they are applicable to all. One recent Now we are going to discuss about two countries in this chapter. First is South Africa, and then is our own country. One recent instance of designing constitution for a democratic state is that of the South Africa. We begin this chapter by looking at what happened there and how the South Africans went about this task of designing their constitution. Then we turn how the Indian constitution was made. What are its foundation values, how it provides a good framework for the conduct of citizens' life and that of the government as well. So, let's start with page number 41, 3.1 Democratic Constitution in South Africa. Inverted commas, I start. I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination. These are the lines. Listen carefully, inverted commas. I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination, where people, their own people, were ruling their own countrymen. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. This was Nelson Mandela. These lines were being said by Nelson Mandela, and he was being tried for treason by the white South African government. Excuse me. He and 7 other leaders were sentenced to life imprisonment in 1964 for daring to oppose the apartheid regime in his country. He spent the next 28 years in South Africa's most dreaded prison, Robben Island. The posters were all around South Africa where it was being written danger, natives, Indians, and coloreds. If you enter this premises at night, you will be listed as missing. Armed guards shoot on sight. Savage dogs devour the corpse. Like, even the dogs will not leave your body. You have been warned. These types of posters were all around. Struggle. Now, the second topic is struggle against apartheid. Apartheid was the name of a system of a racial discrimination unique to South Africa. Listen to me again. Apartheid was the name of a system of racial discrimination unique to South Africa. The white Europeans imposed this system on South Africa. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the trading companies from Europe occupied it with arms and force. But unlike India, the way they occupied India, but unlike India, a large number of whites had settled in South Africa and became the local rulers. The system of apartheid divided the people and labeled them on the basis of their skin color. The native people of South Africa are black in color. They constitute three-fourths of the population, and they are commonly known as the white rulers treated all non-whites as inferiors. The non-whites did not have voting rights. South Africa is also known as a rainbow nation. Why it is being known as rainbow nation? Because they are having mixed culture. They are the perfect example where three-fourths of the blacks and remaining one-fourth of the white Europeans and colored, mainly the Indians, resides together. The basic difference between India and India and South Africa, India and South Africa is that इंडिया में हमारा हमेशा से रहा भाषण कि अंग्रेज़ों भारत छोड़ो. हमारा नारा था कि अंग्रेज़ों भारत छोड़ो. बट इन साउथ अफ्रीका इट वॉज कि हम पे अत्याचार करना छोड़ो. लेट्स लर्न टू लिव ऑन अ इक्वल फुटिंग. लेट्स लर्न to live with the differences. Let's learn to live with the respect, mutual respect. That is the foremost difference. Again, back to the apartheid system. The apartheid system was particularly oppressive for the blacks. They were forbidden from living in white areas. They could work in white areas only if they had a permit. Trains, buses, taxis, hotels, hospitals, school, colleges, libraries, cinema halls, कुछ बचा नहीं है. Theaters, beaches, swimming pools, even the public toilets were being separated. All things were separated for the whites and the blacks. And this was known as segregation. They could not even visit the churches where the whites worshipped. Blacks could not form association or protest against the terrible treatment. Since 1950, colored and Indians fought against the blacks. Colored and Indians fought against the apartheid system. They launched protest marches and strikes. The African National Congress was the umbrella organization that led the struggle against the policy of segregation. This included many worker unions and policies of the segregation. Many sensitive whites also joined the ANC to oppose the apartheid. I repeat, many sensitive whites also joined the ANC, that is, African National Congress, to oppose apartheid and played a leading role in this struggle. Several countries denounced apartheid as unjust and racist. But the white racist government continued to rule by detaining, torturing, killing thousands of black and colored people. But then, how they stepped towards a new constitution? As protests and struggles against apartheid had increased, the government realized that they could no longer keep the blacks under their rule through repression. The white regime changed its policy. Discriminatory laws were repealed. Ban on political parties and restrictions on the media were lifted. After 28 years of imprisonment, Nelson Mandela walked out of the jail as a free man. Finally, at the midnight of 26th April 1994, the new national flag of the Republic of South Africa was unfurled, marking the newly born democracy in the world. Today, I'm not going to finish the chapter, but you promise me that you are going to read the chapter and you are going to learn what is apartheid, what are the contributions of Nelson Mandela in detail. And on this note, I wish you a very good day and good luck. Stay safe.